1065.com.
College basketball season less than 2 weeks away. That's around the corner. Scott Drew and Baylor, of course, very highly ranked, and expectations and the standard has been set. But also today we talk about Scott Drew because he's among a list that will be inducted into the Texas Sports Hall of Fame next year, and Coach Drew joins us on 365 Sports. What does this mean to you?
Well, it's a great team award. Obviously, you feel very humbled, but at the same time, we tell our guys this all the time. I mean, anytime someone gets honored, it's because of the team. And, I mean, that starts with my family that sacrifices, our players that have sacrificed, our coaching staff, to the fans, the administration. And God has given us a great platform. So really excited about the class, to be a part of such great names and Texas legends. But, again, it's a team award, so it means we're doing something well as a team.
When you were a kid in Indiana, did you ever think that you would be a Texas legend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had other things I was thinking about. I was thinking, get out of the cold weather.
Oh, my Lord.
Hey, you said so. We only got 2 weeks to season.
Yeah.
Man, it's coming up quick, doesn't it?
Yeah. November 7th, I think it is, right? Mississippi Valley?
The last full season in the Ferrell Center. Got to send it out the right way.
Have you gone over and walked around just seeing some of the big things going up in the ground where the pavilion's going to be located?
I'm not one of those guys that's really big into construction. I think my wife will tell you I'm not very handy around the house. So I try to stay away from all that stuff. But it is exciting when you see pictures and videos of what's being done.
So, Coach, being a couple weeks out, as you said, where is your team sort of at this point? Like, what's the kind of the day-to-day, the shift in focus, kind of the ins and outs that we don't see here on the outside of where a program is 2 weeks before they get their ride underway?
Well, I think when you first start your practices in into September and most of all October, it's the meat and potatoes. Like, what are you doing for the 35 minutes of the game? And now, as you get within the last week, 2 weeks before season, you're trying to work on all your game-ending situations, into half, into games, different defenses you might face. So that's really what you put together now. We have one more scrimmage. We're allowed NCAA-wise to have 2 scrimmages, and then after that second scrimmage, all your attention and focus goes to your upcoming games.
How much now, looking back on it, and you've taken these summer trips before, but how much looking back on it with incoming and younger players and transfers, et cetera, was that trip to Canada just to kind of like maybe shake out some cobwebs?
Why the NCAA would let you go one every 4 years is because it is a big advantage. It's a big advantage with the 10 extra practice days. It's a big advantage for the competition, and it makes you speed up putting in offenses and defenses, allows you to see yourself against other teams. So who plays well together, what rotations, and then the team bonding that goes on. I mean, at the end of the day, the teams that are closer usually are more successful. And so that's why it's a big advantage whenever you have those foreign tour opportunities. And again, that's why it's a 1 out of 4 year deal. And with us, it wasn't a foreign tour because we were going to play in the World University Games and represent the USA team in China. But when the games got canceled, some teams put it together, and we represented the USA in Canada. So it doesn't count as a tour, but you get the same benefits of a tour.
On one way of looking at it, I know you would rather had everybody healthy and not rehabbing all summer like you had guys like Flagler and Cryer and others miss time. But for a coaching staff to see what you have on some of the guys who haven't gotten into the rotations as much, and for incoming freshmen like getting Keontae George more time and everybody else, how beneficial was that not just for those guys but for you as a coaching staff to know that what you really have in some of these guys who haven't seen those minutes yet?
Well, you make a great point right there because with Adam and LJ and then Langston, at least they were around their team because Langston didn't get a chance. He got injured before season. But those guys could give leadership and advice to the young guys, and it allowed all the first-time players to have a chance to experience what it's like in our system, offense, defense, locker room, just how we do everything during the game. So that experience was really helpful, especially as we began practices, because because they're further along. Now that can push the guys like Adam and LJ and Langston when they got cleared to play, because they're at a higher level. They know what they're doing. And iron sharpens iron. We practice more in college basketball than we play games. So the more competitive and the better your practice is, the better your team and the better the players get.
Coach, you have a very interesting mix of players on your roster, from, a couple of, babyface freshmen, but talented freshmen, to, a bunch of guys who have had redshirt years, a bunch of juniors, seniors. It's just transfers, obviously. It's a very interesting mix of guys. What have you kind of seen from this team as far as finding its personality?
Well, I can tell you that one thing our staff, our coaches, done a great job of is life is short, and we want to spend time with people every day that we want to be with. And the players that we've been able to bring in and attract, those are guys that energy givers, good teammates. They work hard. They're fun to be around. They're coachable. So it makes going to practice every day enjoyable for us. And because of that, it allows us to accomplish more. And hopefully at the end of the year, that pays dividends. We have enough experience that we have some great leadership at the top of people that have been there, done that. You have some freshmen, which always brings that energy, who left situations. They understand the rigors of Division I, but at the same time, they want to have success and they're anxious to learn, but they have the physical experience and maturity that a freshman might not have. So it's a good blend, and it's been enjoyable so far.
Scott, you mentioned you're not a big, around-the-house tool man, whatever, but you did rebuild an entire basketball program. Any kind of analogy to what you see going up with the Pavilion?
Yeah, I don't really think of Phillips or whatever. What's the other screwdriver? Flathead or something. Yeah. I don't see the similarity, but I can tell you that I am really good at identifying people that are good at what they do, and that's why we've had so many great coaches and players, and I've been blessed to work with great administration. But Kelly, it definitely does all the handiwork. She will occasionally let me screw in a light bulb if I don't mess that up.
Yeah, then there's different wattage and voltage and all that goes with it. Scott Drew will be inducted next April into the Texas Sports Hall of Fame with us on 365 Sports.
Scott, I'm curious how Coach Tweety Carter is adapting to life at home all this time, and how he's come along all this time. I'm very excited to see what he's got in store in his coaching career.
Well, Tweety, first Baylor McDonald's All-American, helped lead us to an Elite Eight, and definitely helped take the program to another level. Played professionally, 14 or 15 different coaches, so he has a lot of different experience. Loves Baylor, loves Waco, believes green and gold, and does a great job in bringing positive energy and relating with the guys. And he's been a joy to have. Another Hall of Famer. He is getting inducted into the Baylor Hall of Fame. Couldn't be more proud of him. And again, anytime you get inducted and get honored like that, it makes you that much more appreciative of everybody that's been on the journey with you, because, again, team awards, if the team doesn't have success, no individual gets praised.
And yesterday was his birthday?
Yesterday was his birthday. He did miss his half-court shot for his birthday. But other than that, the toughest adjustment he's had is the recruiting deals. He said, it's hard to eat this much good food and not work out all the time.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I can imagine that. And he looks so happy. The season, as we mentioned, around the corner, and we've mentioned all of leading up to it, but to have Langston Love and LJ, and Adam Flagler back at a part of it, how much when they arrived and they could integrate on the court, did that make you even better?
Oh, well, again, iron sharpens iron every day in practice. And Langston's somebody that has done a great job recovering. But his first couple months back, people will see he's still not back to where he'll be by the end of the season in Big 12 play. So just want to forewarn everyone, don't have that bar so high, because coming back from an ACL injury, it's not like you come back and you haven't missed the last year. I mean, it's a progression, and it takes time, but each and every day he gets better. And the guards, I can tell you, guards make coaches look like they know what they're doing, and at times offensively, it's really fun to watch. Defensively, rebounding-wise, Last year, that was something that our team really did a great job of as our offense caught up. And this year, with so many good guards, it's going to be important that defensively we can keep that pressure on and do a great job on the glass, because those have been two staples to our success.
You were in New York with Bob Huggins, Huggy Bear, and had a part of that PR marketing tour with the Big 12. I know there's other guys you could have gone on that trip with. And you guys have become really, really close friends. What was that like, and what was the reaction to it, and how the Big 12 also set that up?
Well, first of all, great call by Commissioner Yormark. Is somebody that I love because he's got great energy, great vision. And for those that have ever been to our conference tournaments, they've been outstanding, but they will go to a whole nother level when it comes to entertainment. I mean, with his background, and he understands that sports, it's a great game, but the entertainment around it can make it even that much better. And I think with his background of what he's done with the Nets, what he did with NASCAR, what he's done with all the artists and everybody at Rock Nation, I think he's more interested in making sure everyone across the country from east to west coast knows just how great the Big 12 conference is. And that's part of the reason setting up the New York Media Blitz. Coach Huggins, Hall of Fame coach. Everyone has so much respect for him and what he's done and how he's done it. And obviously done a tremendous job at West Virginia. So I love spending time with them. I always try to learn from them. We had a great time in New York, had some great food. And most of all, we're able to brag about Big 12 and just what great institutions we represent.
I could imagine that Bob Huggins is a pretty cool guy to run around New York City with.
He's fun to run around any city with. Yeah. So everybody knows Huggy Bear. So.
Scott, we had a question on the chat room about the conference on the verge less than a year from now with the new incoming schools. Houston, of course, we know where they are, highly ranked, and Kelvin Sampson, UCF, Cincinnati, and Brigham Young. Is it almost like you can't wait for that, although there's just more teams you're going to have butt heads against?
Well, Commissioner Bowlesby did a great job in securing that. And Brett talked about that at the tip-off luncheon yesterday. But their success that they've had in sports and men's basketball, 6 out of the last 9 years analytically, we've had the Big 12's had the best rating in the net or in the RPI. We're the only conference to have 3 different teams in the national championship game 3 straight years. Since 2002, 60% of our league has been in a Final Four, and that's more than any other league. And then now when we add the new teams, you take out Texas and OU when they eventually leave, analytically, Ken Palm-wise will still have the #1 basketball conference. So everyone's done a great job in making sure we continue with the great tradition the Big 12 has.
Thank you, Scott, for jumping on with us. Congratulations on the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. That'll be an incredible event. We appreciate your time and see you on the court soon.
I appreciate you, and thank you for everyone making that possible.
Yes, sir. Scott Drew, Texas Sports Hall of Fame. The list of others included